Hello YouTubers, this is DJ Blink Bling. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we'll just be going into the basics of DJing. We'll be talking about setting your cue points, how to arrange your crates on Serato DJ, depending on the software you're using, hopefully Serato. But what we'll be doing basically is the major basics, the foundation of DJing. So let's dive in and let's see how it goes. So here we go. This is Serato DJ on the screen. That's the software I use when I'm mixing. So we have some tracks here, about 9 in total. So what we're going to do now, we're going to dive in straight. We'll load in a track here. There are various ways you can use to load it. You can use a controller, but I'm using Serato so you can see what I'm doing. So this track here is Rhythm Road by Jingle Punks. And what we'll do now is we just play it, just freestyle playing. So that song there is set with the BPM correctly. There are two different tutorial sessions I've done already. This is talking about analyzing the tracks. So basically you should have your tracks analyzed already, and also setting your beat grid. You have your beat grid set already. So now my advice for anyone that wants to mix song is don't mix vocals with vocals. All right, what I mean by vocals is where they are talking within the song. So but when it's the tune, if you want to mix in two songs, mix two tunes together. So we're talking of the beat itself. So like the beat, like something like this. So that would flow well into any song. Now when we're talking about mixing now, also we're talking about mixing BPMs, and the first thing you need to know is when you're mixing two songs together in regards to either the BPM, the beat per minute, which is here, or you're mixing in regards to the key of the song. So it depends on what's the style you want to mix. So but for now, let's just stick with mixing with BPM. So when we're talking about mixing with BPM, we're talking about mixing of maybe a song that is 88 beats per minute, which is BPM, with a song that is maybe a little bit lower, 5 beats lower, so maybe 83, or maybe 5 beats higher, which is approximately 93. You can also do doubling. We'll talk about doubling of beats later on, so which will be 88 multiplied by 2. Songs in the range of 160, you can mix them together. That would be another tutorial entirely. So what you need to know first is, as a DJ, you definitely, most likely now you have a controller, you have your laptop, and you have your software, and you have your library, which is your songs. So you should have, I have my library set up to my convenience. Whatever way you want to set it, you set it. So what you now need to do first is, whatever song, let's put this in there now, whatever song you want to play or you want to mix, you should have your cue point set. You can see there's nothing set here now. No cue points at all. Now, when we're talking about cue points or hot cues basically, what we're talking about is what you want to use, like maybe like energy of the song, or where you want to drop the song, your own preference. It doesn't mean the way someone else has done it, that's the way you would do it. So let's play this track and let's see how this track sounds itself. So you see, just good. So now that's energy. So you see the way that song sounds, yeah? So right here is just, for me, if I'm going to set anything here, I won't put anything within this area because it's just empty space. Now, for the beginning, now if you look at this, grid here, you can see there's empty space here also. We'll also talk about how to handle spaces like this in another tutorial. We use something called flip. All right, so now we're still talking about setting your hot cues. So let's play this again. So now, if we want to set the hot cue for this song, I would prefer choosing the energy section here. So you can see here we have number 4. So what you do is, whatever controller you're using, mine has the chance of 8 hot cues. So you can either use your controller and press it there. Now when you press the button on your controller, if your controller gives you the chance to set 8 hot cues, good. then you can set other ones. But if you don't want to use the button on your controller, you could then decide to just use the software you're using, and that's it. So let's hear this section now again. All right, so you see, that's a good point to start. To start the song itself. Now, if you tap your hotkey button on your mixer, or even right here, it will go back to that point itself. All right. So what we'll now do now is, so we have. What I do is I label it as start. All right. So start. So when I load the song, I know that's where I want to start from. However, you could have something else within, maybe in the middle of the song. So let's hear this section. Nah, I wouldn't set a health cue there. That's not. It's not even gonna go well with the energy. All right. So I won't start the track there. However, if we go a little bit forward here, all right. So that's just space. All right. So I may decide I want to jump that section, all right, to another point. So watch here. All right, so you could set another hotkey there by pressing plus here, or you use your controller. All right, and what I do for things like that, my own style of labeling, I'll label this as either jump or escape. So I now want to jump into that section. All right, so I could just put escape. All right, so escape. So if we go a little bit forward now, so let's imagine this is where we are within the track. Let's go a little bit more forward. All right, let's play from this section. Then you see the way we're going to escape to that point. All right. Now, if you know how to count beats the way I've explained already for my first tutorial video, you would know the exact points, which is basically the markers where you jump ahead. So let's do it now. You see? So we're able to escape that section, which most likely if you're mixing would have just dulled the energy of those you're mixing for. All right. So if we pick another track here, Silent Partner by Wrong Time. All right. So now we're still talking about setting the hot cues. This is going to lead into mixing. And remember what I said, we avoid mixing vocals with vocals. So what we're going to do now is we'll load the second deck, Mr. Pink, and we'll listen to this track now. Now, looking at the waves itself, you can see at this section here, there's basically nothing, there's no bass. All right, so it's just there. So let's play it and let's see how it goes. So now, definitely, if you're mixing, you wouldn't want to set your hot cues anywhere around there. You'll be targeting somewhere around here. All right, so you're gonna see it now. This is just some nice tips that can help you. So now we're getting there. Now, okay, so now what you need to do, you can either decide to set your hot cue here, which is the first point at that section. If you play it again, but what I will always advise anyone is right before where that energy landed, all right, for the first beat itself, where it came in. All right, what you need to do is you set it right there before it, the first section. So let's put a hot cue here. All right, so we put start. So that starts there. All right, so you can either use your software or use your controller to set it there. At that point is your choice. And what you now do now is, if you play it now, you'll see it's the way it's going to now drop. All right, so you see, so we have our start for the second track. Now, mixing, as I said initially, you either mix by BPM, the beats per minute, or you mix with the key of the track. So what we want to do now is we want to mix by BPM. Now, the BPM for this track is 85 and this one is 92. Two ways. You can either decide to move it closer. All right, so what you do is you can either move the first one, which is duty vibe tracks, move it closer to the other one. All right, so you use on your controller, there will be the tempo section. All right, so it's at that tempo button that you would use to move it closer to it. So you can see now, you need to make it a little weeny bit close to it. All right, Or you can move this one back a little if you feel the difference is too much, 8.2. All right, so you move that, and then you move this also. So let's move this to 91.0. Okay, so yeah, so now we're in the same range of beats per minute. Now let's go back to the beginning of this track and let's play. So what you need to do is, for this one, you let this one to be playing, you get to the point you've decided you want to mix in. Now the second track coming in, you can either use 4, 8, 2 or 16. That's the auto loop button. Now what I always tell people is this, yeah, if you would use your auto loop, don't use 2, just use 4 and make 8. 4 is the best to use. If you want to use 8, it means maybe the tune coming in didn't end at 4 auto loops, it ended at 8. All right, so what you do now is, first one, start playing. All right, so the second side, yeah, you have your hot cue set. So what you need to do, so you have your hot cue set already, you set your auto loop. Okay, so now you have 4. All right, so that's it, 4 is there, and then you wait for, you can see these bars here, yeah, 12, 13. So this all the section about when I said counting beats. All right, so if you watch my first video about how to edit your beat grid and counting beats, you would understand this that I'm explaining now. So what we're doing now is we're counting the beats, and you can see the markers with the numbers on it. I can slow it down a little. All right, let's slow it down some more. See, 20, 21, 22. All right, 23. You can see it there. So that's the point we want to target. I want to play. We'll press play for the second one coming in, so to make it to be in line, and then we'll smoothen it out. So that's basically mixing. All right, so by now definitely you would have your headphones on, and you're listening to it through the headphones to see how it sounds. You press your cue on your controller. That's going to give you the chance. So the cue buttons, there's some cue buttons. All right, so if you look at your controller, you see cue, that's Charlie Uniform Echo. So cue lets you listen to the tracks before you release it out there. All right, and then you will see the channel fader. With the channel fader is what you use to bring it in. All right, so let's start this again, because we got to the escape section. So let's go, 1, 2. You see, that's basically beat counting. That would help you to go back in the track. So now you have your headphones on, you're listening to it. So let's target that section now. So we want to target one of the numbers. That's what we press play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're counting again. All right, we're counting beats. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So you see we're in line. All right, you can see it's right there. Look at the grid. Perfect. So now, if you're ready to mix, what you now need to do is you now need to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to use your filter? All right. So if you go to filter, you see low and high filter. So you need to decide, do you want to use a filter? Do you want to use echo? Whatever choice you want to use is your choice. All right. So what we're going to do now is we use filter. All right. So the song is playing. All right. So press the filter button. Now listen to the side now. You can see there was a little bit of change. All right, so let's bring the second one in. All right. You see? Now let's go. And then you release it. Let's go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's it. You've mixed. Okay? So that's it. That's a simple, easy way to mix songs. So what you need to do, as I said initially, first thing you need to do, for every track you need to have set your hot cues. That's the best easy way. That just makes life easy for you. So you have your start and your start. All right, so for the first track that is playing, you target the section like maybe the chorus. That's where you want to target, that you want to mix the other one too. For the second track, you don't use the chorus or vocals. You need to use like where it's just pure sound. because you don't want it jumbled together. So at that point, for this section, you press your auto loop. When you press your auto loop, 4 is the preferable preference for myself. And as you're counting the beats for this track that is playing, you press play. All right. When you press play, boom, you bang on there. When you bang on there, you use your filter or whatever you want to use to mix it, either jet, echo. And then at that point in time, as you're dropping one channel fader, you bring in the other one up, and that's it. You've mixed it, and at that section, at that point, at that particular area, the sweet spot, you release the auto loop, and then you let the song go, and it keeps on playing, and that's it. So yeah, so this is DJ Bling Bling with another beautiful tutorial number 3, which, you know, it's a summary of how to mix and setting your hot cues, you know, how to be a very good DJ out there. So yeah, like my channel, like my posts, subscribe to my channel, and if you do have any questions, as I always say, send me a message or anything, or leave a comment or questions, and I would make a video about it if I have the knowledge. So that's DJ Bling Bling signing out. Cheers.